Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to try something new. It's called Saltine Toffee Cookies or Christmas Crack, depending on which you've seen. Now I think it's called that because it's addictive, but I'm not sure. So let's get started. So you're going to need some saltine crackers, the ones with the salt on them. And we're going to need probably about one package or whatever you need to fill your baking sheet. We're going to need brown sugar, light or dark, it doesn't matter, either one. And you're going to need at least 1 cup of that. You're going to need some butter. Now I have unsalted because the saltine crackers have salt in it, so I'm using unsalted butter. So you're going to need something for the topping. So here I have some cookies and cream chips. So I'm going to use those. And then I have some other milk or semi-sweet. I'm not exactly sure what this is. You can also use some Hershey's chocolate if you have that. So I had some of that. I'm not sure I'm going to use this, but I have some if I need it. Then you can use coconut, some toasted coconut if you want to put on it, some marshmallows. You can pretty much do whatever you want for the toppings. I have some sprinkles that I might use and some color sugar as well. You're going to need also something to spray your sheet with. Now I'm using parchment or you can use foil. Now you're going to use this to line your cookie sheet so nothing sticks to it. So you want to use a cookie sheet that has a lip to make sure nothing runs over. And then I have this bottle that I just pump it and it has olive oil in it. If you don't have one of those, you can just use any kind of cooking spray, anything you might have. You can just use a regular cooking spray like I have here, just in case you don't have the other pump. So make sure you have a cookie sheet or some kind of pan that has a lip on it, because you don't want to put it in the oven and have it run over on you. That's a spill you don't want to have to clean up. So now I'm going to line my cookie sheet with my parchment paper. I'm going to use parchment instead of foil. So I'm just going to line my cookie sheet with parchment paper. And then I'm going to spray it. It probably doesn't need it, but I just want to make sure that I have no problems getting it out. So I'm just going to spray it with my olive oil spray. And I'm going to make sure it's sprayed all over. I'm pumping the top and I'm just going to spray it all over. Now you just want to line your cookie sheet with the saltine crackers. Now you want to make sure it's salt side down. I've seen people use Ritz crackers if you have those, or just regular saltine. I've even seen somebody use wheat. So if you want to use wheat, you can use wheat. I'm using the original saltine crackers here, just the regular Great Value brand. It doesn't have to be an expensive brand, just whatever you can find, whatever you have in the cupboard, and just make sure it's salt side down. So now that I have my cookie sheet all lined with the crackers salt side down, I'm ready to move on to the next step. So now move over to the stove. You're going to need a small pot and you're going to put in there your 1 cup of firmly packed brown sugar. Just break it up to help the process along. And then to that, you're going to add in your 1 cup of butter. Now, like I said, I used unsalted. If you have salted, that's fine. So I use 1 cup of unsalted butter here. So we're going to get the melting process started. So while you're doing that, preheat your oven to 350. Okay, so you want to have your sugar and butter mixture on medium high until it comes to a complete melt, till you get all that butter completely melted. Then you want to turn it down and let it boil while constantly stirring for 5 to 8 minutes. Don't stop stirring because you do not want this to burn, because then it will ruin the whole batch. Once all the sugar has dissolved in your caramel mixture, you're ready to pour it over the crackers. So be careful at this stage because it is very hot. You don't want to spill any on yourself or anywhere else. So be very careful in this step. So once you got all your caramel mixture over the crackers, you want to take a offset spatula, or in my case, I just used the rubber spatula that I was using to mix the actual caramel on the stove, and I start smoothing it over. You want to get your caramel mixture smoothed out on every cracker, or as much as possible and as evenly as possible. So now that you have all your caramel mixture spread over the crackers, you want to put it into a 350-degree oven for 5 to 6 minutes. So once your tray comes out of the oven, you want to let it cool for about 3 minutes before you start adding the topping. And now we're going to start putting on our toppings. This is cookies and cream. So you want to sprinkle them over in an even layer as much as you can. You can use up to 2 cups. I probably used a little bit more because we really love chocolate in this house. So I probably used a little more than 2 cups. There wasn't quite 2 cups in this. And then I added a little bit of the milk chocolate. I believe this is milk chocolate, or it could be semi-sweet. I'm not sure what was open last, but I'm going to add those to the top as well. After I put on all the toppings, I'm going to stick it back into the warm oven for a few minutes just to help those chocolate chips to start to melt. So this is where the fun Saturday morning project went awry. So the cookies and cream chips weren't melting very well. So I picked up all the dark ones and I left the white ones and added some more chocolate chip, milk, and semi-sweet. And as you can see, it still wasn't working very well. But I'm going to try my best. I'm going to put it back in the oven for another few minutes just to help those chips melt. Okay, so as you can see, second time out of the oven, it's still not melting very well. The white chips from the cookies and cream aren't really melting at all. The semi-sweet and the milk chocolate that I put on the second time is melting really good, but that white chip is not. So I'm pretty much thinking this is a complete fail. I'm not sure anybody would want to eat this. It smells really good with all the caramel and the chocolate. It just doesn't look very appealing, and I don't think the family's gonna want to eat this. So I chanced it and put it back in the oven for a few more minutes just to see if it would do anything to help the chocolate chips melt. And as you can see, it's working a bit, so I'm going to work it and see what I can do. So after much trouble and much fuss, I was able to get it semi-smooth. It's not as smooth as I wanted it to be, but I'm figuring, you know what, it's chocolate, it's kind of smooth, and then I'm going to add some sprinkles. And who doesn't like sprinkles? So I don't think they're going to be able to resist once this actually cools. I'm going to have it cool on the counter until it's cool to the touch. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge for an hour so it completely cools right through before I crack it up and see if it tastes any good. I'm pretty sure it will because the chocolate, like I said, it melted, but you will see the whites didn't melt that well. There's still pretty whole in there. So I put it in the fridge for an hour, actually probably an hour and a half, did a couple of other things. And as you can see, it doesn't look half bad. So I'm going to actually crack this up. I'm going to break this up and do a taste test. And I mean, if it's not half bad, maybe I will feed it to the family. I mean, it smells really good and it looks okay. I mean, it was kind of lumpy, but I mean, once I break it up, you can't even really notice that. And the white chocolate chips in there, it kind of adds to it, I think. Anyway, I'll see what the family says. So we're just going to break this up and give a taste test and see if my little Mikeys will eat them. I mean, it's got chocolate on it, so I figure they will. So we have a winner. Everybody liked it. I doubt this will last very long in my house. So I want to thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell to be notified when we upload videos. And I want to say happy holidays to you and have a good day.